Okay, welcome back everyone to the deep dive. Today we're taking a close look at the source material you sent over about the Chicago rapper King Von.
Right. And our goal here, our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack the main points from this source. Try to get a better handle on his life, his music, and, well, the really tragic way things ended.
And the source, it sets a very specific tone right from the beginning, doesn't it? It kind of frames Vaughn as this clear example of wasted talent, someone whose life was cut short, basically painting him as a victim of street life.
Yeah, it does. And what's interesting, I think, is how quickly the source connects that idea to his actual career. It makes sure to mention him signing with Little Dirk's label, Only the Family. So you get that professional side right alongside the personal story it's telling.
Okay, so let's dig into that personal story. Where does the source say it all started? It mentions he was born in '94 and really emphasizes his upbringing on Chicago's South Side. Paints a pretty stark picture, actually.
Mm-hmm. Lots of hardship, violence, very early on, according to this source.
And the source seems to draw a direct line from that environment.
Yeah, it presents it as more than just background noise. It's like this environment caused his frequent run-ins with the law, his legal troubles. The source basically suggests these problems were just a reflection of that world, almost unavoidable.
Right, right. And then there's the music. That's where it gets really interesting, how that life intersected with his art. The source puts a lot of weight on his debut album, Welcome to O Block.
And the timing, released just a week before he died.
Exactly. The source talks about it almost like a film.
Yeah, like a cinematic account of everything he went through. It's presented as the direct artistic result of that difficult upbringing the source keeps highlighting. His music basically is the story the source wants to tell about his life.
And based on this source, it's clear he had real talent. It specifically points out his storytelling ability. It says he made a big impact on the Chicago rap scene, even in his short career.
Which brings up a kind of tension in the source material, doesn't it? How do you square that talent, that impact, with the violent end it describes? The source definitely puts that conflict out there.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't shy away from it. It recounts him being fatally shot, aged just 26. That was November 2020, right? Outside an Atlanta nightclub during some kind of altercation.
Mm-hmm. And the source uses that awful event to make a broader point. It presents it as sort of proof of these ongoing cycles of violence, disputes, things it sees plaguing communities, especially linking back to Chicago, and unfortunately spilling over into the rap world, too.
So when you pull it all together, what's the overall picture this source gives us? It seems to be saying his story is a tragedy on multiple levels.
Right, there's the loss of a promising artist, obviously, that's huge, but also the immense struggles of growing up in places with high crime, and then how those struggles directly shaped his music and what he left behind.
And ultimately, the source lands on a specific message, a final frame.
Yeah, it positions his life as fundamentally a cautionary tale, a story about street life, and why, from the source's perspective, it's something to escape.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener, pulled straight from this source's perspective. The source frames his whole life as a warning, a reason to leave street life behind. So thinking about that specific angle, that specific framing, what does that perspective make you think about? About that really complicated relationship between where an artist comes from, their background, and the path their life actually takes.